We are kicking it over here in Central Hall. I'm over here at Epiphan. I'm with Nick Milani. He is VP of Product Marketing and Sales. How you doing, Nick?
Doing great. Thank you for stopping by. How's your show?
The show has been amazing. It's crazy. Today is even busier. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? Sunday was shockingly busy too. Just a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, a lot of folks, trying to look for the future and see what the future broadcast is about, which we're all about.
Yeah, and I have to say, it's the 100th year of NAB, as I'm sure you've seen around here. How many years has you or Epiphan attended NAB?
Wow, so I'm actually a little bit newer to the broadcast world. I come from more of the workplace technology side and the pro AV side,
okay.
So this is my second year at NAB, and it's a fascinating show. I really like engaging with the live event folks. Epiphan as a company has been engaged in this industry for well over a decade now.
Wow, yeah, it's so fun to be doing these interviews and get to see people from all walks of life in the broadcast space, and some people who it's their first time or 25 years plus. It's just amazing.
Yeah, one of the things I love about being here and the conversations we're having is fundamentally how we're disrupting this industry. And I think our slogan is broadcast without barriers, and it's a story of accessibility. It's a story of anybody being able to share their story with the world in a broadcast quality way, but without kind of those barriers and those limitations that historically we faced. And that impacts so many people in so many walks of life. It's what gets me out of bed every day and makes me excited to come here.
That's really a wonderful message. And for those who are new to Epiphan, can you give us a little bit of background, continue on that conversation there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we make a portfolio of really smart edge devices and cloud tools, and fundamentally we turn every space into a studio, and we make every video an experience, whether that's virtual, on-site, or hybrid. We fundamentally let you capture, enhance, stream, and record pro-level video and audio to the masses.
Okay, and so what kind of products are we talking about? You mentioned cloud, and you mentioned maybe some hardware pieces as well. What does that mean?
Yeah, so we have a suite of cloud tools that allow you to bring in video from Zoom and Teams, and we get a really big advancement there, but we also make edge devices that are all-in-one, that integrate with existing technologies like Crestron, Extron, QSys, if you want an integrated experience, but it's also a standalone experience. You can deploy it within hours and have a full production up and running in the sense of great branded video with layouts and switching. And so we have a series of those different kind of products that make it easy for people to do.
Your company is famous for the Pearl series.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the Pearl is and what that does?
Yeah, so the Pearl Mini, as an example, has an interactive touchscreen on top of it. It allows me to bring in HDMI, SDI, USB, NDI-HX, SRT, pick your favorite acronym of the industry. We acquire all those video signals. We also allow you to bring in XLR, Pro Audio, or plug a lapel mic into it. All of that comes into the device, and I can switch, stream, record, and kind of produce a show directly from it. Or I can take that device and integrate it with any of the existing tools that exist out there to produce a show as part of an integrated solution. So it makes it easy for people to kind of create that video content that then gets distributed, whether online or through local distribution.
So for someone who's newer to streaming or lower level knowledge of technology like me, how do I get video out of the Pearl, and how do I monitor what's happening within the Pearl?
Yeah, so the best example I'll give is 2 years ago when I was looking to join the team. I had them send me a Pearl Mini. My wife's an occupational therapist, and she specializes in special needs kids under 3, right? God's work. And one of the things she wanted to do was she wanted to stream an infant massage course. Now here's the problem. She would have taken a laptop and put it in front of her, but translating that for a parent, it's really hard to watch a video if it's not first-person perspective. So the Pearl Mini showed up. I logged into the interface via the cloud. I plugged 2 of my Logitech Brio USB cameras into it. I put my Nikon DSLR over her shoulder. So I have one camera on the front, one camera kind of a side angle, one over the shoulder. I put her Sprout and Thrive business on there. I created layouts with the right colors, and I had those 4 basic layouts. Now, of course, she's my wife, so she made it very uncomfortable if I was in the room while she was doing it.
Yeah.
So it was good. I sat on the couch and I had a beer, and I used my iPad to switch it from the living room.
Oh, you can do that.
Because the cloud-based tools let you control everything from anywhere in the world. And that's part of the really interesting story that's evolving here, is people are realizing it changes the way we think about where our labor goes and where the knowledge workers go and technicians, and it helps to redistribute those things and make it approachable for everybody.
Now, what's new at NAB? Can we talk more about the cloud device?
Yeah. So we have a huge announcement tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Be there. And we're showing it behind me right here. So I'll give you all a sneak preview because I love the NAB crew. So what we're showing here is the ability to take a Zoom meeting extract individual people and create a live broadcast in YouTube. So how do we get there? Well, it's easier to go backwards. So you see Marta and Dan right now. They're down here in a traditional kind of switcher. We have different layouts that we can create, but it really starts with Epiphan Connect for Zoom. And what this is a cloud-based tool that's reaching into the Zoom servers, extracting that video in 1080p, 30 frames per second, isolated audio, converting that to SRT, and then we're bringing that into our virtual production flow. Here's the really cool thing for your viewers. If you don't use our production tools, that's a universal protocol that you can bring into anything. So that gives you the ability to bring any remote guests into your production. And here's the cool stuff we're doing with it. It turns this Zoom meeting into a green room.
Oh, that's nice.
What's the number one problem people have with hybrid productions? How do I communicate with the folks? So not only can you communicate because we're extracting the video and isolating the audio, but we can also do really cool things like all of our recent events, including tomorrow, we bring live guests. Not like planned guests, we let audience members join the call and ask questions.
That is so cool.
It's just like for years what they were doing in talk radio.
Right.
So we create another secondary Zoom room with the green room. We have the person come in, we make sure they're prepped, and then we push them to the live production. We tell them really simply, when you hear Nick say your name, you're on air. And so now all of a sudden Tess can join the show and I'll say, hey Tess, thanks for joining. What's your question for our panel? So we started to create education panels and started to create some thought leadership and really showing how we can create truly hybrid events with hybrid tools.
That's a problem we have with our production at home, so I'm going to have to share that when I get back with our producer, that green room feature, because we're constantly bringing guests on in Zoom, but we're not able to vet them before, so that's incredible.
Yeah, and it's a really simple motion that we've been running. What we did is we created a web page, so in the event tomorrow, I'll say, if you want to ask a live question, please click on the link. That link takes them to a web form that gives them a consent. That then sends them to a Zoom meeting where, again, we vet, good question, wearing clothing, not insane. Okay, you're going over. When you get over there, we send them in mic on, camera on. Why? Because we can control it all.
Yeah.
And so we're able to send them over in a position where they're ready to engage. We're able to go in and really quickly start to work with them. And it creates this effect of like the Price is Right effect, right? That idea that if I participate in the event live, I might be able to actually engage the audience and engage the panel. And we think that's a really important psychological factor in like the next generation of what makes live really important.
Nick, you mentioned your announcement tomorrow, which I'm super excited for. Is that happening on the show floor? For those who are attending the show, watching, where can they participate?
It's probably best for them to either watch it on LinkedIn or register on our webpage for the webcast. You can come here in the booth and we'll have it on the screens, but there's actually a podcast studio right behind me with 2 cameras in it. So I'll be joined by Steve from Wayne House Research, an analyst, and then Andy Carluccio, who heads up the Zoom events team. He'll be joining us from the office hours booth. And so we'll be pulling together, and you know what the best part is?
What?
We'll use the Zoom tool.
That's perfect. What better way to bring in a new product than using it?
Exactly, because we don't tell, we show.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, for those who want to learn more about Epiphan, how can they find you?
Well, first off, you got to learn how to spell Epiphan. It's impossible for everybody. Epiphan.com. If you go to epiphan.com, we have a wealth of knowledge in there, and I'll just encourage your viewers to see us as a knowledge center. And we really want to try to help educate and make this accessible to everybody.
Awesome, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nick. It was a wonderful conversation. I hope you enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you, Tess. Appreciate it.
All right, that has been us live from Central Hall. We will be back in just a few moments.